Hey guys, I'm Kim, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about ankle sprains, and then I'm going to demonstrate how to properly wrap an ankle. So, how many of you guys have actually hurt your ankle before? Okay, did you guys have to get like a store-bought brace, or did you have someone that wrapped your ankle up for you? Okay. Did you get a trainer to do it, or just family?
Google.
I did that. Okay. So, first of all, what is a sprained ankle? A sprained ankle is caused when you tear a ligament or the ligaments get stretched, overly stretched, and it happens when the ankle is turned inward or gets inverted. And this is very common, mainly among athletes, but it can also happen with non-athletes. For example, if you're just walking down a hill and you slip, or if you just step awkwardly on your ankle, which I do all the time. There's 3 different grades to an ankle sprain. Grade 1 is the mildest form. Excuse me. This is when you just stretch the ligament, and this usually is followed with tenderness, swelling, or stiffness, and you can walk on your ankle. There's very little pain. And then there's a grade 2, which is a bigger tear of the ligament. This is followed by moderate pain, swelling, and bruising, and it's a bit more painful to walk on. And then there's a grade 3, which is the complete tear of the ligament, and you definitely cannot walk on it because it's very painful, and it is severe swelling and bruising. To treat an ankle sprain, just remember the acronym RICE: rest, ice, compress, and elevate. You want to keep your ankle iced for 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a day, and you want to also keep it elevated for 48 hours after the injury. And then for compression, there's multiple different ways you can keep it compressed. Like some of you guys had it wrapped, but you can also buy store-bought braces. These are just a couple examples of them. Some of them are sport-specific. So this one right here, that one's used for volleyball. Athletes will usually use that one to prevent any ankle injury, so just to keep support on it. This is an ankle sleeve, so that's mainly compression. It does give a little bit of support, but it's mainly used for compression. And then this one in the middle, that's the more generic ankle brace that you'll see that everyone wears for any sport or just daily time if you hurt your ankle and you need to keep it supported. These are really easy to use because you just put them on and then you just strap the straps over them. Or that one you just slip it on. However, they can be pretty expensive. So for example, that volleyball one, which is one of the nicer ones, it costs $50, and that's only for one of them. And since you have 2 ankles, you're going to need to buy 2, so that's $100. But this sleeve, it costs the low end $20, and it can go up, so that one's not as expensive. But if you want to be really cheap, you can just get some pre-wrap or Power Flex, which is on some other people's tables, and then some tape. The pre-wrap costs $4, and then tape is $5. And the Power Flex is a bit more expensive. That runs $6 or $7. But if you buy those, it'll last you for quite some time. So we want to wrap the ankle to prevent any injuries from occurring, or to keep the ankle stabilized and compressed if an injury has already occurred. Many athletes will wrap their ankles before practice and before a game, just to have that extra insurance for their ankle. They don't want to have a ball or a helmet on the field and then trip over it and then have a rolled ankle. So that if they get it wrapped beforehand, that just gives more stability. So if they did do that, they would have that support there to prevent any ankle injuries from occurring. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to properly wrap an ankle. So I'm going to ask Christina to come up. And I passed around pamphlets. They give step-by-step instructions on how to wrap an ankle, but they're kind of a bit confusing if you don't really know what you're doing. I don't know, which is the easiest way for you guys to see it. Do you sit sideways like this? Yeah. But yeah, that one up here. Can you guys see that? Okay. Okay, so if you're wrapping for an athlete's ankle, you're gonna spray this adhesive spray, which I think just prevents any rubbing and keeps the stuff from sticking. And you'll also put pads here and here. and that is to prevent like rubbing of like their shoes or any other things, because you don't want to get blisters underneath of this stuff. And then you'll put the pre-wrap on, and I don't have any other adhesive or anything like that, so we're just going to go with pre-wrap. And you can also use PowerFlex. Many of the athletes prefer to use PowerFlex, but that one, you can only use it for like one ankle, especially when you're wrapping like bigger ankles. So for like the football players, they'll go through one of those things per ankle, and so that can be pretty expensive. And so you want to start like mid-calf and then go like halfway down the foot. And then you take your white tape and you just make like anchors at the top. And it's like personal preference if you want to do 1 or 2. I like to do 2, but it doesn't really matter how many you do. And then you do what's called a stirrup, and you start on the inside of the foot, underneath her ankle, or heel, underneath her heel, and then you bring it back up, and then you put it on that side. And you want to like pull as much tension as you can to make it really supportive. And then you can do that 2 more, or 1 more time. And then you do some heel locks, which just go basically around the back of the heel. And you want to kind of get sort of low on these ones to like cover a bit of the heel on it. Again, you can do it 2 or 3 times, it's just personal preference. And then comes the fun part. And then you do a figure 8, and this is a bit tricky to like get, but anyway, you start like about there. People start higher or lower, it depends on how you like to wrap it. And then you go underneath the heel, back over top, and then I wrap it around once, and then I go on the other side, underneath the heel, back on top of the heel, and then bring it back up. And then you finish it off. And then you do it 1 more time.
It's starting to get tight. Is it hurting?
Yeah. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
And then if you like ever feel like the tape's not going the way you want it to, you can always finish it there and then pick it back up where you left off. So like I didn't like how that tape was going in the angle, and then you just wrap it back around. And then normally they'll just like put other like pieces up here it's basically just to make it look prettier, so you don't see all the ends, and then that's how you do it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that athletes do that before a game to prevent injury. Would that create like a weakness long term because the ligaments and stuff don't have to do as much work because they're relying on the tape?
Good question. I'm not entirely sure. That would make sense, but I'm not sure because they're not using it like all the time, because they'll do like lifts and other things without their ankles taped. So I feel like since they're doing other things with it,
Varying it.
Yeah, that it won't really cause that much problem. So that's a good question. I will look it up and get back to you. Any other questions? Yes.
And that's used as a pre and post treatment?
Yes.
Like,
And I would have you guys practice it, but it's kind of a difficult thing to have practice.